see with this tuned Audi R8 V10 Plus how it does. Holy shit. Behind me is a 2018 R8 V10 Plus. You guys know that this car is discontinued. That means they're not making it anymore. And today we're gonna make a review about it. This is the next episode of a new series that we made called Owner Review, where we talk about what makes cars special. And this isn't typically things that you're gonna see on a spec sheet, but it's gonna be things that actual owners have things to say about cars. So for example, you saw in the last episode, we had the GTR. We talked about how it sent power to the front and the back of the car, that you wouldn't typically find that on a spec sheet. There's, for example, on my car, the hidden lights that were only on the 2016 model Mustang. That's another special thing that you would have to be an owner in order to know that those things are existing on those cars. So this is a very special car. This is my friend Justin. He is the owner of Beyond Six Figures, and fittingly, it's an e-commerce company, and his license plate says Shopify, which I think is just the coolest thing ever. So dude, thanks for coming. You're a G, bro. So tell me about, like, so you started with a different R8 but switched to this R8, right? What was up with that?
So my first R8 was the 2014 Audi R8, and it was the first year they actually had dual clutch transmission in the Audis, in the Audi R8s.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, before that they had single clutch, and as Doug DeMuro would say, it was abhorrent to have, right? When you have that dual clutch transmission, obviously it's much smoother. So the 2014 was the first year they did it, had it in white. Absolutely loved the car, I fell in love with it. Not a single issue, nothing. It was just perfect the entire time I owned it, and it transitioned myself into absolutely wanting to own a 2018 because I love the look as well as the transition they've made. It looks a bit more modern.
Yeah, they do have like a new facelift on this one. It really looks, like you said, a lot more modern, a lot more aggressive.
Right, so much more, and especially the interior. The biggest thing for me on the 2014 was the fact that the interior and the tech was obviously a bit dated.
Okay.
Right, and on this you get screens and you get just incredible kind of physical hardware, which I personally love.
Yeah, and you know, one of the interesting things that I think that makes the R8 special, especially the V10s, is it's very similar to the Lamborghini Huracan, isn't it?
Right.
So like.
Right. Apparently, and people say that there's actually Audi logos in the Huracan.
I have heard about it.
Inside the actual engine, etc., with all the parts and whatnot. So it's a very, very similar car. And personally, I like how the Audi looks. It's a bit more classy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could pull up to a business meeting with it and, kind of make it a normal day without kind of trying to call attention to yourself.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing for me is like the look, the sleekness, as well as the just incredible craftsmanship of Audi.
Yeah, and you're definitely using this for business. I mean, we met on a business trip where we were on a yacht and we were talking business and all this stuff. And I know you take it out to other places and make connections. So let's lead into this Shopify, the Shopify license plate. How does that lead into your business and your networking?
For sure. So a little bit of a backstory. Ever since I was 14 years old, I've been involved in online business and building companies online. Fast forward years and years after I went to Rutgers University, I actually ended up winning the Entrepreneurship Award there out of all like 60,000 people.
Oh, that's sick.
Right, and I ended up dropping out of school right after. Right?
Oh, there you go.
I had two subscription box companies. I had Beyond Six Figures, my marketing consulting company. I ended up letting go of one of the subscription box companies. The other one was a failure, and I also had another physical product brand as well that took off very, very highly and got my kind of feet wet into the physical product realm, which is really cool. So I've been doing it for about 14 years now. I'm 28 now.
Yeah.
And
you're young, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else at 28 with an R8. And like, for example, guys, this is his house. Look at this view. He just went up and I don't know where he's like, hey, let's just park the R8 in the backyard, and it's just on this hill. It looks insane. It just looks so magnificent.
It looks wild, right? And and for all the young guys watching who don't think that you'll be able to kind of make something great happen early on in your life, I'm telling you right now, if you stay dedicated and start early, time in the game is more important than anything, right? Obviously, I started doing drop shipping, building e-commerce stores, doing Shopify, and obviously I transitioned into service-based builds as well. I've gotten to work with the quarterback of the New York Jets and one of our fitness companies from the NFL, a bunch of Shark Tank companies, and one of my latest projects, I actually worked with Panda Express, and I built out their entire speech pronunciation offer that they use across every location in the U.S. For Panda Express.
That's
which is
legit,
cool.
bro. And at your age, that's incredible. So
keeps me busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I barely drive it.
Yeah, dude. Last week, this guy took 2 all-nighters and got sick, and we had to reschedule the video because he was sick from the 2 all-nighters that he pulled.
Right.
Like that's the type of dedication you need when you're operating on this level.
Right, and it's funny because I was telling Juan last week, hey, I'm up for 2 days getting a lot done. Right, at the time it sounded like a great idea. I made a lot of progress. I'm like, Juan, this is great, but we had to reschedule the video because I got sick from it. So I don't know if I'd recommend that for everybody. But if you're catching momentum and you're moving forward, you want to really capitalize on some great movement you got going. Maybe one night's okay, but health over everything.
Absolutely. So, dude, how has this kind of opened doors for you? I know that it has. How has this opened doors for you when it comes to communicating to other people that are high income earners or business owners? As far as networking, this is an incredible tool, right?
Absolutely. And I would say there's two different perspectives.
Okay.
Right. Perspective one is a lot of people who have R8s, Lamborghinis, like the whole thing. I become friends with because they'll pull up, we'll say what's up to each other. It's incredible for that part of networking and in perspective, which is amazing. So that I would say is definitely helpful for building a stronger network of people who are just like you and at the level that you're at. Now, I would say as well, when you have a car like this, and let's say you're trying to get a meeting with like a billionaire or a major corporation, it's not going to do too much, right? Because guys like that, they don't really care too much about the car, but at the end of the day, it's about, that I like the car. It's not, I love driving it and I love it at the end of the day. So I would say a byproduct is absolutely the incredible networking of people who are kind of at that same status structure level, right? And, the reason I got the Audi is because I do want to be able to pull up to someone who's way above my level and not act like we're the shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. And you absolutely have a style when it comes to the spec of cars that you like. We'll show you guys later. He has a BMW. Which one is it?
The X4M Competition.
X4M Competition. This thing is a beast. I rode it. It is fast, especially for an SUV. And it is also black with red interior. So that's kind of like an interesting kind of like spec that you got going on.
Yeah. So Juana's a great point. One of the things that I like, guys, obviously like my cars in black. I like to be a bit low key, and obviously saying low key while owning a car like an Audi R8 might be on polar opposites.
You can say it's a supercar.
It's a supercar, right? I know there's some controversy in the marketplace. You guys let us know down below. Is an Audi R8 a supercar or is it not? Right, you let me know. This thing's got the same horsepower as the Huracan. We call a Huracan a supercar, then we got to call the R8 a supercar, right?
I agree.
Right, but this thing's tuned and it has the red interior, which you guys will see shortly as well as the X4M, black on the exterior, red on the interior as well.
Nice. And so this thing has some pretty sick mods to it, right? So we've got an exhaust.
Yep, we got the FI exhaust, which is cool. We also have intakes. I don't have the downpipe yet, right? Maybe I'm considering getting a downpipe over the next few months. Who knows? But pretty basic optimization, or pretty basic.
Like a full bolt-on kind of situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say just the FI exhaust. We have the intakes. It's tuned. We lowered it about an inch. It's got wheel spacers on it.
Oh, dude, it looks nice. I actually didn't even notice the low, but I did notice that the fitment was nice.
Just a little bit.
I didn't know that was not a.
Right, maybe I could have went a little bit lower, maybe, right?
No, this is good. This is good.
Right.
That's good fitment to me, especially like you don't want to rub on the car.
Right.
So
100%.
And I just noticed the back is 305s, and on an all-wheel drive car, that is some massive tires.
Oh yeah. This thing catches. And it has performance mode. Maybe we'll show them performance mode later in the video.
Definitely.
And it catches quick, guys. It's really fun to use this thing in launch mode. It's a hell of a time for sure.
And I noticed that it also has a lot of carbon fiber tidbits. Some I think you added and some came from the factory.
So this is the Plus, right? So the Plus has all the extra carbon fiber add-ons.
Okay.
Right? So when you just get the normal Audi R8, I don't believe you get the rear view mirror carbon, right? And also some of the other...
This intake right here.
Right, also some of the other pieces as well. But this is the Plus, so it has the wing.
This is also, carbon, the carbon diffuser.
As well as the diffuser, both sides of the rear views and the interior and the sides as well, which is really cool.
Also the carbon ceramic brakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's part of that package.
The braking power.
I'll show you guys the B-roll in a second. And it's two-piece ceramic brakes. Carbon ceramic brakes. So that's pretty sick as well. All right, so you actually have a funny story on how you got this car. This car is a beautiful spec. Honestly, to me, it looks like a custom spec, the way the red interior, the carbon, all of that. I mean, this is an absolutely beautiful car. And I think you got it for an awesome steal too. What is the story behind that?
It's a pretty funny story. So I was actually supposed to get this exact car, but in white. I wired over $160,000 to a dealership, right? And then all of a sudden, after I signed everything, I get a call from the dealership that someone just bought my car. Now, this is at the time when Audi was absolutely, or these R8s were going up in value, right? And I bought it right before it did. So people were coming in, bidding higher than what I was already locked in at. Long story short, they sold my car. I called the dealership, and they told me they sold my car, which is not really, it's not really that kosher, right? So he knew that. He sent me over all my money back, plus $2,000. I'm like, all right, it is what it is. So we're driving down the highway once, me and one of my team members in my company, and we were looking for another one. I'm like, man, I really love that white one. Long story short, what had happened is he was looking on Car Guru, scrolling through, and a brand new listing comes out with no picture at all. He goes, hey man, this has got less than 2,000 miles on it, and it's exactly what you want, but there's no picture. Usually we would never call a listing like that, but I'm like, hey man, you mind calling? He calls in the spot, turns out being black exterior, less than 2,000 miles, red interior, and minted. They sent over pictures. We had no idea. It was on the market for maybe about 30 minutes.
Oh
I negotiated a bit. I bought it for 160,000, which is incredible. Now these are worth about 185 plus.
Wow.
Right, this spec, which is really cool because we got it at the right time. But it was definitely a match made in heaven for myself because this has been my personal dream car. I remember when it first came out, I was looking at it, and I remember back in Need for Speed Carbon, I couldn't even afford it in the video game.
Wow.
You know, so,
and here you are affording it in real life. Dude, that shows how far the grind takes you, man.
For sure, and I'm very grateful that the first dealership sent me an extra $2,000. It went toward this car, and I'm very happy with the purchase at the end of the day. I absolutely love this car.
Yeah, and so are there any last pieces before we're about to go drive the car? As always, you guys know on the GTR video, we had an amazing time. So before we go drive the car, are there any last little tidbits that you see that you wouldn't typically find on a spec sheet? Maybe it's a light, maybe it's a setting, maybe it's something. Is there anything like that about the car that you think makes it special, or even at least special to you when it comes to your own spec?
100%. The biggest thing for me is the reliability.
Yeah.
Right. I have a bunch of friends who have McLarens, etc. Right, and they're always telling me they're in the shop here, and there.
Yeah.
I've had not a single problem with any of the Audis I've owned. Not the 2014 R8, not this R8. And I would say specifically with this, it's the perfect mix of exotic aggressiveness as well as classy, refined luxury. Absolutely. And that's personally what I love. You know, you could go in the direction of the Huracan, just go straight exotic. You could go, Bentley and go straight luxury. I feel like this is a very, very good mix of both. And to me, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot to say about the classiness that this car has, especially being basically the guts of what would be a Huracan,
right?
Which is like all aggressive, all, just power and craziness. This is still that with that set of class that you can go and take this to the breakers, and you're not flexing. You're just like, hey, this is the nice car that I have, just being low key about it. So I totally like that. I can agree with that. So with that being said, let's go drive this car and see what it's like. All right, and it's time to go for a ride in this car. Honestly, not too bad off-road. It did nicely parking it over there. This is not a whistle and diesel video, so we're not gonna go too much farther with that. But we're gonna go for a quick drive and give it a good rip and see how it goes. The steering wheel is pretty cool. How was it expensive?
So this was about 2,500 bucks. I actually got it from my buddy Kirill in New Jersey. They're some of the best. It's called Charisma Designs. You guys should check him out. Tell him Justin sent you guys. Charisma Designs, full custom carbon, bunch of pieces. We got the whole wheel as well as the paddle shifters as well, and the actual stem of
Oh yeah, I see that. The paddle shifters are carbon.
Yeah, and most people don't have the stem carbon.
Oh yeah,
which is cool. So the whole
that's unique
package.
as well. Is this all brand new for like this interior refresh? Everything looks like completely different, or is it kind of similar to the last car?
Absolutely, this is completely different. So the 2014 was actually pretty dated with the interior. It had a very, very analog tech screen and didn't really have much of any tech at all, actually. Here we have a full-on digital screen, which is absolutely incredible. And it's very minimalistic on the inside as well, which I love. Very luxury. I always like to say it's like I'm eating in a fine dining restaurant when I say it.
It is very minimal, and like even like this empty space right here is just you kind of just have these three things. There's no radio to distract you. It's really more about like a driving experience, it seems.
Right. It really is, and that's the most important thing about this car. They've made it so driver focused and driver centric. You can even tell a lot of the pieces here are focused toward the driver, which is kind of cool. As well as this. I absolutely love it.
This is kind of interesting. So these vents are going through the door. That's cool.
And what's cool is the fact is on each side you have obviously congruent carbon, and the wheel adds a great overall.
Wait, so this carbon is factory?
Everything is factory with the exception of the wheel and the paddles.
Wow, so dude, look at this like trimming right here. Is all carbon, and this is all like V10 Plus. This is what you get with the V10 Plus, correct? I believe so. And also the rear views as well, you get with the V10 Plus as well, which is absolutely cool. I think the carbon might come with the normal R8s, but I know the actual rear views don't. Yeah. I really like that this is like around this vent right here.
Right, we got the floor mats as well, a little
little
addition toward the black and red on the interior, which we can't complain about.
Yeah, you definitely have a look for the type of spec that you like.
Right, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I like the classy look, of course.
And then back here, what's all this?
So this is just a normal kind of like bag carrier. If you look at the top here, we have Alcantara on the roof, diamond stitched.
Yeah, and that goes along with that diamond stitching. Yeah.
As the seats that you're sitting on right here. The diamond stitched seats as well. That's an actual option also.
Wow.
Which is super cool.
And actually really comfortable seats, I gotta say.
Right?
Yeah, like,
it's like butter almost.
Yeah, and I've been and they're nicely bolstered, so they do support you, but they're not like I've sat in the Senna seats before, and dude, like if you're chunky, like you feel like you're squeezed.
100%. Sometimes when I eat a little bit too much, I start to feel like, oh, that's how I know. That's how I know, actually. It's a good point.
That's pretty funny. Oh, that's interesting too, the little key holder.
Right, and that's the type of attention to design that Audi has. Right, here's the key fob here. You can take this off if you run out of battery or something, but look at this. You take the key, you put it directly in there, and you never lose the key. It's actually, you asked me before, what's one of the things not on the spec sheet that helps out? That, I don't lose my key anymore.
Dude, that's perfect. And that's what this series is about, is we really want to talk about the things that make these cars special that you wouldn't typically find online. You wouldn't know to search, like, where do you put your key in an Audi R8? No one thinks to do that, but that's exactly why we're doing this series. So without any further ado, we're about to rip it through the street and see what that feels like, and see what this tuned Audi R8 V10 Plus, how it does.
Let's see.
Holy shit, holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit. Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, that got squirrely. Yo, dude. The freaking backfiring and everything.
And that shows. What's cool is a little bit colder out here in Florida. When you get that actual traction down, it starts to rip a bit, and you start to lose a little bit of traction, even with all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that was wild to think it, like all four wheels were spinning, and it's like, dude, we were like fishtailing through there. Yeah, man. That was incredible.
Pretty cool stuff.
We didn't rip it like that last time whenever we were in the car. This felt even crazy.
Because that was performance mode.
Oh my
Last time we were in the car, we were just normally in normal manual mode. Yeah. That was a little bit performance mode action, getting a little crazy and squirrely there.
Yeah, that was wild. Dude, that makes it like so exciting to drive, I bet. Can you just take this to the gym every day?
Oh, yeah. It's fun because I usually don't put it into performance mode every time, but you know, if I got a Tesla pulling up and I don't want to get too smoked, I got to put it in performance mode.
So this is kind of interesting. What do these buttons do here on the steering wheel?
So this is performance. So watch the RPMs before performance mode, and now after.
Oh, wow.
It preps you, right? Off, on, right? It revs higher to give you a bit of an advantage, obviously, when you're launching. Yeah. And now we'll go here.
That totally makes sense. That sound is amazing, bro. You definitely... Oh my gosh. This thing is something else, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, dude, you can just do that all day.
Oh, yeah.
All day, bro. That is incredible, and just on like the push of a button, and it turns into this like just animal.
Yeah, really, that's a great way to put it. And
yeah.
The thing is, you put it into sports mode or even into drive mode, obviously, it turns into a nice little S4.
Oh my gosh.
It pretends to be an S4. It's hilarious. It's not. I can't hold it in.
Man, I love the way the steering wheel is designed with this, like, I don't know, like this metal that's like cut, so it's like nice and grippy.
Right, it's cool when you turn it. Right, what happens, you put it in performance mode, you could actually have a, let's wait here, dry mode, wet mode, and snow mode.
There you go.
We don't use snow mode here in Florida,
right?
Gosh. But typically you go ahead and put it in dry mode when you're driving. But it's cool because it has three different kind of widgets, and you also have drive select here, where you go individual, comfort, auto, dynamic. Obviously, dynamic is for typical sports mode. Individuals, you can make a custom. You want to drive a dynamic, and then you go into performance mode, and it allows you to obviously rev the RPMs a little bit higher than normal, which is absolutely incredible.
And what I love about it is it's such a car that you can actually like daily, you know?
Oh yeah, that's the most important part for me, because I love a car that, you know, I can just drive around. I'm not kind of worried about it breaking down, like a McLaren or something like that. Yeah. So it allows me to move forward, do what I need to do, but still enjoy myself as I'm going to the gym or going to the office. You know?
this is a very everyday supercar that absolutely has the full performance of what a supercar would be, and at the same time has that classiness that we talked about earlier.
There's actually a big difference. So this car is black, right? So it's a bit more underground and undercover than would be like a white or red or like yellow Lamborghini or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And what's cool about this car is oftentimes you get a lot of older individuals who appreciate the car as well as younger individuals, right? Which is cool. And often when the car is very clean, you get almost 5x more looks and waves, right? When the car is clean, which is very noticeable, especially because a black car here in Florida can get very dirty quickly from all the dust. When you clean it, it really brings out the pop of the flake in the paint.
You detail your car often, I know that much.
Yeah, usually about maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Another good thing about this car is obviously as you're driving, it's very smooth, but let's say you want to rip it, you can absolutely turn it into an absolute beast.
Yeah.
But if you want to, for example, let's go and drive, let's go windows up for a little bit, right? Let's just see, you know, we're just driving. You know, it's very relaxed, right? You could be on a call, you could be talking to your mom, whatever it may be, talking to your buddy, and you can just relax. You don't really have to be so focused on controlling the vehicle, right? Which is actually a big plus, because not always do you want to be going crazy, miles per hour. You want to go ahead and relax sometimes as well and just get from point A to point B too. Especially because you're using it as a daily oftentimes as well, which is the appeal to this, very everyday supercar.
Yeah, turn on the AC.
Of course, let's rip it.
Dude, I love it. Even like, dude, it looks like a fighter jet. Like, this is the control for the AC. Is like
as a matter of fact, you're absolutely right. And I remember I was doing a bunch of research before I bought the car, and this whole control panel is actually inspired by a fighter plane.
No way, really?
I believe so. We might not.
I don't doubt it. And in fact, and I've said it before in the other videos, is a lot of the things for the 50th anniversary of the Mustang, so the one that I have, actually were inspired by planes.
Oh wow!
So yeah, you'll see like on the Mustang.
Oh, your car's incredible.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah, he took a ride on the car, and we had.
We did the same thing as we just did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, a little bit easier with rear-wheel drive, but I still can't believe that you did that with all-wheel drive, dude. We were spinning so much.
Your car is incredible. You guys gotta check out Juan's car. I'm sure you guys already know, but his car is the craziest and coolest Mustang I've ever seen in my whole life.
So you're racing?
You'll smoke me, man.
Yeah, actually, let's do a quick pull and see what happens.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Okay. So let's get side by side. Devin, you go on the left side.
All right.
Okay, go slow. Go slow. Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You killed us.
You got front, right there.
Okay. Holy shit.
Wait, what the fuck just happened?
I don't know how you beat us, but that's crazy.
That's fast car, that's why. All right, that was one incredible video. The R8 is back there. Guys, thank you for this. Make sure to subscribe because we have even more crazy videos coming. So subscribe, stay tuned. Let's go.